The Masonic legend has points of variance from, as well as agreement with, the Bible story. It states that Jehovah created Eve, that the Lucifer spirit Samael united with her, but that he was ousted by Jehovah and forced to leave her before the birth of her son Cain. As he left Eve before the birth of the child, Cain was the son of a widow and a serpent of wisdom. Then Jehovah created Adam, a human being like Eve. Adam and Eve united and begat a child, human like themselves, whose name was Abel. Jehovah, being the lunar god, is associated with water. Hence there was enmity between Cain, the son of fire, and Abel, the son of water. So Cain slew Abel, and Abel was replaced by Seth. In time, and through generations, the sons of Cain became the craftsmen of the world, skilled in the use of fire and metal. Their ideal was male, Hiram Abiff, the master workman. The sons of Seth, on the other hand, became the churchmen, upholding the feminine ideal, the Virgin Mary, and ruling the people by the magic water placed at their temple doors. By arduous and energetic application to the world's work, the sons of Cain have acquired worldly wisdom and temporal power. They have been captains of industry and masters of statecraft, while the sons of Seth, looking to the Lord for guidance, have become the avenue for divine and spiritual wisdom. They constitute the priestcraft. Thus, from the beginning, there have been two kinds of people in the world. One, begotten by the Lucifer spirit Samael, is aggressive, and possessed of great initiative, but impatient of restraint or authority, whether human or divine. This class is loath to take things on faith, and prone to prove all things by the light of reason. They have lost their spiritual sight, and are imprisoned in the forehead of the body, where it is said Cain was marked. They must wander as prodigal sons, until they find the door of the temple, and ask and receive light. Then, as Freemasons, or children of light, they are instructed in methods of building a new temple, an ethereal soul body, or house eternal in the heavens, not made with hands, and without sound of hammer. When its nakedness is clothed with that house, see Corinthians 4:5, then the neophyte receives the Word, the open sesame to the inner worlds, and learns to travel in foreign parts in the invisible worlds. There he takes soul flights into the heavenly regions, and qualifies for higher degrees, under the more direct instruction from the grand architect of the universe, who fashioned both heaven and earth. Such is the temperament of the widow's sons, inherited from their divine progenitor Samael, and given by him to their ancestor, Cain. While Cain, governed by divine ambition, toiled and tilled the soil to make two blades of grass grow where there was only one, Abel, the human progeny of human parents, felt no urge or unrest, himself a creature of Jehovah through Adam and Eve. He was perfectly contented to tend the flocks also created by God, and to accept a livelihood from their divinely begotten increase without labor or exercising initiative. Cain then slew Abel, but did not thereby exterminate the docile creatures of Jehovah. For we are told, Adam knew Eve again, and she bore Seth. Seth had the same characteristics as Abel, and transmitted them to his descendants, who to this day continue to trust to the Lord for everything, and who live by faith and not by work. The animosity of Cain and Abel has been perpetuated from generation to generation among their respective descendants. Nor could it be otherwise, because one class, as temporal rulers, aimed to lift humanity to physical well-being through conquest of the material world, while the priesthood, in their role as spiritual guides, urged their followers to forsake the wicked world, the vale of tears, and look to God for comfort. Freemasonry today is an attempt by the hierarchs of fire, the Lucifer spirits, to bring us the imprisoned spirit, light, that by it we may see and know. Catholicism is an activity of the hierarchs of water, and places holy water at the temple door to quench the spirits seeking light and knowledge, and to inculcate faith in Jehovah.
Boom! The love of the Father was never more important to the Son than in the days after September 11th, 2001.
The speech, and I got sat down in the pew there, and I felt his hand. It was my dad. It was very, very comforting. It was just a beautiful gesture.
A disaster occurs, and the unchecked metal flows like lava over the temple floor. As Hiram tries in vain to check the flow with water, a mysterious figure appears above him, saying, "Come, my son, be without fear. I have rendered thee incombustible. Cast thyself into the flames." The credulous Hiram jumps in, then asks the voice, "Whither do you take me?" The voice answers, "Into the center of the earth, into the soul of the world, into the kingdom of the great Cain, where liberty reigns with him. There the tyrannous envy of Adonai ceases. There can we, despising his anger, taste the fruit of the tree of knowledge. There is the home of my fathers. Who then am I, and who art thou? I am the father of thy fathers. I am the son of Lamech. I am Tubal-Cain." Tubal-Cain introduced Hiram into the sanctuary of fire, where he expounded to him the weakness of Adonai and the base passions of that god, the enemy of his own creature. Hiram was then led into the presence of the author of his race, Cain. Cain related to Hiram his experiences, sufferings, and misfortunes brought upon him by the implacable Adonai. Tubal-Cain then bestowed his hammer to Hiram, saying, "Thanks to this hammer, and the help of the genie of fire, thou shalt speedily accomplish the work left unfinished through man's stupidity and malignity." With the help of his newfound ability, Hiram successfully completes his masterpiece, only to be promptly murdered by the same unworthy apprentices. So then, is Cain to be understood as the progenitor of Masonry? Not quite. That prize can be awarded to his father, who, according to the legend, is not Adam. We shall now quote from the beginning of the temple legend as given by Steiner. The ancestry of the builders of the mystical temple was as follows. One of the Elohim, or primitive genii, married Eve and had a son called Cain, whilst Jehovah, or Adonai, another of the Elohim, created Adam and united him with Eve to bring forth the family of Abel, to whom were subjected the sons of Cain as punishment for the transgression of Eve. Thus we see that Cain is a direct descendant of the gods, but Abel is a descendant of Adam and Eve, who are human. Cain committed fratricide. He killed Abel, and for this he was excluded from communion with Yahweh. He went away into distant lands and founded his own race there. Adam again united with Eve, and from this union came Seth, also mentioned in the Bible, who took over the role of Abel. Thus we have two generations of mankind, the race of Cain, who was a descendant of Eve and one of the Elohim, and the other race, which had human parentage, and was brought into existence at the command of Yahweh. Among the descendants of Cain are all those who have been creators of art and science, as, for instance, Methuselah, the inventor of the Tau script, and Tubal-Cain, who taught the use and working of metal ores and iron. In this line of descent, stemming from the Elohim, were all those who trained themselves in the arts and sciences.